Good morning, everybody. Doing well this morning. Of course, Greg Peterson here. And I was talking this morning about two different things. One, and this sounds like one of these marketing things that pops up, these ads, right? One weird trick. Well, I got one. This is amazing. This is from Brian Krebs. And it is a trick that will stop most, if not all, frankly, Russian-based ransomware and even hackers. So we went into that. I'm going to put more about that in my newsletter this weekend, so make sure you are on that list. CraigPeterson.com/subscribe. And we also talked a little bit about this newest hack against the largest meat company in the world. If you can believe that. Absolutely huge. So both of those this morning with Mr. Jim Polito. Here we go.
Hey, this guy is on top of it all. I'm talking about our tech talk guru, Craig Peterson, and nobody smarter than this man. And he joins us now. Good morning, Craig.
Hey, good morning. It's Jimmy P. How you doing?
I'm good, Craig. Thank you. Hey, I want to ask you about this simple trick that will stop most Russian hackers. And it's not hiding a bottle of vodka somewhere. No, it's about Microsoft. But I want to ask you about now what? Ransomware at a meat packing facility? So they went after power grids. They went after water. Now they want to go after our food. They went after the oil pipeline. They want meat. What's this all about?
Well, they really are. We're talking about right now the major organized hackers. The guys that have gotten together, that are working together, that really want to go after targets that have money.
Yep.
And even though they'll say things like, we don't want to really affect the U.S. economy, we really don't want to hurt people, that's what it tends to do.
Yeah.
So in this case, this is a big company, headquarters in Greeley, Colorado, at least the U.S. headquarters are. They are both, they have operations in North America and Australian, and they noticed it. Now, this is a beautiful example, right? There is nothing 100% effective against a determined hacker. However, they noticed what these hackers were doing. So they took, it's the name of it is JBS USA. It's the world's largest meat supplier. They took immediate action. They automatically suspended all of these IT systems and other systems that might be affected. They immediately notified the authorities, the FBI. That's what we do. We bring them in as well. They brought in all of their IT professionals. They got them all together, and they brought in some good third-party experts like yours truly to try and figure out what the situation was and how do we resolve it. Now, it looks like it probably spread quite a ways inside this meatpacking plant, because the company is saying that their backup servers were not affected, and they're working with an incident response firm to get the operations back as soon as possible. I think they're going to be back very quickly. But these bad guys are not gone. I mentioned DarkSide. These are the hackers that went after the Colonial pipeline, probably part of the SolarWinds attack, on and on. And they shut down that one operation, the DarkSide operation. But it also looks like we may have been able to shut them down. We won't get into all the details right now. But here's another side to all of this. We need to know when it's happening. So kudos to JBS USA. They knew when it was happening. And that's something, by the way, I'm working on. I'm actually starting a business that's what it's going to do.
Wow.
I've decided that's the most important thing, because people are not willing to spend real money on the right types of hardware, types of software, but let's look at what's happening on the network. Anyways, separate issue entirely. But the Biden administration refuses now to say that these DarkSide attacks and what ultimately led to the SolarWinds and potentially Colonial pipeline, they've been saying all along Russia. And now Microsoft came out, and Microsoft is the company that the whole attack vector went through. SolarWinds, which affected every American, every one of us, that attack because of the companies we deal with. SolarWinds attack, according to the Biden administration, came from Russia or Russia. One of them. However, Microsoft said, we have confirmed it's China. And Microsoft has been saying that now for weeks. And President Biden was asked about this, as was at a press conference, Sakhi. And they say now nothing about it. They won't say that it's Russia. They won't say that it's China. If we don't know who's attacking us, where it's coming from, and frankly, retaliate against them, we're never going to stop this.
We're talking with Craig Peterson, our Tech Talk guru. I'm glad you're sounding the alarm in all of this. And Biden is going to meet with Putin. He's got a summit with Putin coming up within the next 2 weeks. It'd be nice if he would be on top of this and say, just cut it out. Remember Barack Obama when the election hacking, he was telling, remember he said, I told Putin to cut it out. Yeah, that's great.
Exactly, but it's not Putin. It looks like it's absolutely China.
Yeah. All right, great. Lovely. Speaking of, let's go back to Putin. A simple trick can lock out Russian hackers. You sent me this information. What is this?
Yeah, I'm going to put this in the newsletter coming up on Saturday this week. So if you missed the details, make sure you get the newsletter. You can just get it on my website. This is absolutely true. You and I have talked, Jim, before about where the hacks are coming from and how we think some of these hacks are definitely Russian because they're not attacking Kazakhstan, Ukraine, all of these former Soviet countries, right? Yeah.
They're taking care of their own.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And they don't want to get in trouble either. Russia doesn't exactly take hacking lightly. If you hack them or you hack one of their oligarch buddies, they will come after you, and you don't want to end up in a Russian prison. Okay?
No.
So that's the theory behind this. So this is simple, everybody. This is simple, and I'll send you some links to it. All you have to do is install what are called a virtual keyboard on your Windows machine. So, for instance, I'm multilingual. I speak English and I speak French.
Yeah.
So my schooling was in French schools. So I have installed on my computer a virtual French keyboard. So I can say, okay, I'm going to be typing a note off to my friend over in Paris, and so I am going to now do an overlay on my keyboard. And so now I can use all those funny accents and things the French do. So here's what the trick is. This nastyware, most of the ransomware goes ahead and looks to see if you have a Russian virtual keyboard installed.
Oh!
Okay, yeah. So it looks for some other languages too, Ukrainian, Belarusian, Tajik, and Armenian, and some others. But Russian keyboard is the easy one. So here is a workaround from getting hacked by some of this ransomware. Install a virtual Russian keyboard on your computer. And what will happen is if it gets the ransomware on it, the first thing it does is it looks to see, is this potentially someone in the Commonwealth of Independent States, which, of course, are the former Soviet territories. And so if you have a Russian keyboard, it will immediately stop what it's doing.
Wow.
It's that simple.
Yeah,
now,
that is cool. I'm sure they'll find a workaround, but in the meantime, that's pretty cool. How do you...
It is. No, it won't stop it all, right? But, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, how do you do it? How do you install the virtual keyboard?
You can actually do a Go search on it, and it'll show you. There's a lot of articles. But it's a virtual keyboard, right? So if you speak Spanish, you've probably got an English and a Spanish keyboard on your computer. You probably already know how to do it. it's really rather simple. You can go into the settings, you can load the Russian keyboard in, and you're off and running. But apparently, according to the research I'm looking at right now, done by Mandadant and a couple of others, this will help you against almost all of them. So just a Cyrillic keyboard. You can also, there's a specific registry edit you can do. We won't get into that. But just the keyboard's all you have to do.
DuckGo. By the way, I have been using it considerably, and there is such a difference between searching on DuckGo versus searching with Google. I should do a podcast and do a side-by-side and in the blog put the pictures of just putting in 1-2 words and seeing what you get for results in Google and then seeing what you get for results in DuckGo. Doesn't use politics, which is great.
No. Yeah, it is very good. There's another one you might want to look at. It's called Quant, QWANT, but I prefer DuckDuckGo.
Wow. Craig, this has been, as usual, illuminating, fascinating. How goes the recuperation of your lovely bride?
It's going quite well. She's very frustrated, as I would be, right?
Yeah.
She can't do anything, and she's just sitting there. But thank goodness we have one of these chairs that even ejects you, which helped initially. But now she's starting to get a little itchy, and wanting to get up and go around and do things, which is a really good sign. So
that's good.
My fingers are crossed. Yeah, I think she'll do well.
It was the femur, right?
The humerus, the funny bone, the big bone in your arm.
I thought it was the femur.
There's a ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a ball on top. Well, her ball was split completely off into 2 pieces. It was, looking at CAT scan, it's just incredible. It was such a mess. And the top of her arm ended up down in her armpit, and it was very painful. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was the leg. I'm sorry. But I'm glad to hear she's doing better. I'm sure she's going to have trouble going through a metal detector for the rest of her life. Yeah. So anyway, we'll give her our best. And Craig, how do folks get in touch with you?
Okay, so I'm going to send out information on this keyboard trick. And it's a simple trick, right? It's like a marketing line. One simple trick, but it really is. I'm going to send it out on this weekend as part of my newsletter, like I do every week. You'll get that by going to CraigPeterson.com/subscribe. CraigPeterson.com.
Excellent. Craig, thank you as usual, and we look forward to talking with you next week.
All right, take care. Thanks. Jim.
Hey, when we return, a final word. You're listening to the Jim Polito Show, your safe space.